Dames en here, die akademiese prosessie sal binnekort inbeweeg. U word versoek om asseblief op te staan.
Bomma le bontate, moloko wa dirutegi o tla tsena mo nakong e kopana. Le kgopelwa go ema. Ladies and gentlemen, the academic procession will enter shortly. You're kindly requested to stand.
By the power vested in me, I hereby constitute this assembly as a legal congregation of the University of Pretoria. During this assembly, degrees and diplomas, with all the associated rights and privileges, will be conferred and awarded to the candidates whose names appear in the program. You may be seated. We now request you to join us in silent prayer or meditation to give thanks to the achievements of our students. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Loretta Ferris, and I'm the Vice Principal Academic of the University of Pretoria. And it is my pleasure to extend a hearty word of welcome to all of you at this morning's graduation ceremony. I would like in particular to acknowledge the Dean of the Faculty of Economic and Management Sciences, Prof. Margaret Chitika Mabugu, the Deputy Director of Student Systems, Mr. Swanepoel, all chairpersons of schools, heads of departments, directors, emeriti, honorary professors, all of our lecturers and their partners. I also want to acknowledge the representative of the Student Representative Council, Bongiziwe Dlamini, who will represent the SRC and who will be awarding academic honors this morning. All persons, of course, to whom degrees and diplomas will be awarded this morning, and then as well, your family members, your friends, your spouses, your children, welcome. And then if there are any dignitaries that we may not be aware of this morning who's joining us this morning, please also feel welcome. This is our first graduation of the spring graduation season. We normally have two graduation periods. First is in August, the second one, a somewhat smaller one, is the spring one. But it is nevertheless a milestone because for each and every person sitting here this morning who will graduate, it'll mark the culmination of years of grit, but also of curiosity, and then, of course, of late nights. Whether you're receiving a doctorate or a master's, an honors degree, a PG Dip, or an undergraduate degree, you have earned the right to walk across the stage this morning. But you've also earned the responsibility that comes with a University of Pretoria qualification, and that is to use your newly gained expertise for impact, because that is what we are striving towards as a university. But allow me to first and foremost congratulate you. To our doctoral graduates, you have pushed the boundaries of knowledge. Your research will shape how industries operate, how leadership shape organizations, how schools operate, how evidence informs policy, and even how we teach the next generation of accounting students. To our master's graduates, you have honed your advanced skills, analytic, managerial, and ethical, that organizations so desperately need in our country. To our honors and our PG Dips, you have built depth and agility, and you are ready to tackle complex and interdisciplinary problems. And then to our undergraduate graduates, you've laid a strong foundation and proven that you can finish what you start, and this is a powerful signal both to the world but also for your future endeavors. Now, all of you graduate from a faculty that has a record of excellence, that is recognized both locally and internationally. In the most recent Times Higher Education subject rankings, the University of Pretoria is ranked #1 in South Africa in accounting and finance, in business and management studies, and in economics and econometrics. All of these are core pillars of this faculty. And this recognition speaks to the quality of our teaching, the quality of our research, and the quality of our engagement with the world. Our disciplines are competitive on the world stage. In 2025, in the QS World University Rankings by subject, accounting and finance at UP is placed in the global top 100. And this means your degree stands shoulder to shoulder with the best anywhere. The faculty holds itself to rigorous global standards. And as a University of Pretoria, we are proud to be among a small percentage of institutions worldwide that is accredited by the AACSB, the legal global accreditor of business education, and the first faculty of our kind in Africa to achieve this distinction. Accreditation is not a logo. It is a commitment to quality assurance, to ethical governance, to continuous improvement, and of relevance to society. Now, as a university, I always say that today you become our alumni, but today is also the start of a partnership. And in any partnership, there needs to be a commitment from both sides. And here is our commitment to you. And that is quality and integrity always. We will continue to uphold rigorous academic standards so that we achieve the kind of rankings that I've just indicated. And why is this important? It is important because you will be graduating with a UP qualification. And whether it's now or whether it is 10 years from now, you should be able to go out in the world and hold up your UP qualification with pride. But also, you should be employed because of your UP qualification. And you can only do that if we continue to uphold rigorous academic standards. The second commitment is that of relevance and impact. We will continue to prioritize programs and research that address South African realities, and global problems. We will continue to support entrepreneurship advancing public sector capability, and partnering with industry and communities. And then we will, thirdly, continue to expand pathways into UP and to support students to graduate on time, because we know that talent is universal, but opportunity is not. But here's what I'm inviting you to commit to today. From your side as an alumni, or as alumni, guard the reputation that you now carry, because you carry the reputation of being a UP alum. So be known for excellence, be known for ethics, be known for somebody who is ethical at all times. When people meet you, they should think, if this is a UP graduate, I want more. In particular, I want our employers to think that I want more UP graduates. And they will only do that if you carry your side on this commitment. But I also want to invite you to stay close to UP. This faculty in particular has, over the last 2 years, really committed itself to engagement with alumni. So be involved when you get that invitation from the faculty to do so. Think about what you can bring, whether it's mentorships, or whether it's offering an internship as you go into the world of work. Share your insights with departments within the faculty, because your experience will now close the loop between theory and practice. And then thirdly, give back in ways that fits your capacity and your ability. Some of you will be able to give time, some of you will be able to give networks, some of you will be able to give resources, some will give ideas. All of this will matter. Partnership is cumulative. Many contributions consistently over time change the trajectory of an institution, of a country, and of a continent. So, as you step into your next chapter, whether it is boardroom or startup or policy unit or nonprofit or governmental entity or research center, or back here at UP if you have not yet done postgraduate studies, carry on with a passion for solutions. South Africa does not have the luxury of cynicism and endless criticism around dining tables. We need what I want to call constructive impatience. An impatience that says, I cannot wait for others to address the manifold of challenges we face. I need to do my part in fixing our country, our continent, and our world, wherever I am and wherever I may find myself. So congratulations, go well, and make us proud. Thank you. I now request the Dean to introduce to me the candidates present whose names appear in the program. Apologies, we just have to sort out a small problem.
Madam Vice Principal, the supervisors will now introduce the doctoral candidates.
Madam Vice Principal, I introduce to you Kim Baldry, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy with a thesis titled Exploring the Psychological Elements of Decent Work, prepared under my supervision and Prof. Olkers as co-supervisor. In this thesis, Exploring the Psychological Elements of Decent Work, the candidate investigated the psychological experiences of decent work among blue-collar workers, focusing on motorbike delivery riders in South Africa. Decent work is a concept introduced by the International Labour Organization to promote work standards for all, especially those in informal and precarious jobs. This study shows that decent work is not a stable condition, but a shifting experience shaped by workers' everyday realities, relationships, and subjective meaning-making. The findings propose a context-sensitive framework of how workers access, experience, and sustain decent work. Psychological needs for autonomy, relatedness, and competence are promoted and undermined in complex ways, influenced by structural conditions and personal agency. The research demonstrates how elements of decent and precarious work often coexist and how psychological experience of work depend on individual, community, and national contexts. Madam Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate. Congratulations.
Madam Vice Principal, I introduce to you Madeleine Kluter, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy with a thesis titled Alternative Engagement and Assessment in Accounting Education, prepared under the supervision of Professor Astrid Schmuljan and myself. In this thesis, the candidate explored the dynamic interplay between extrinsic and intrinsic motivation within gamified educational settings, grounded in self-determination theory. The research advances accounting education by integrating principles from marketing, particularly customer behavior and customer loyalty programs. This interdisciplinary approach demonstrated how consumer behavior analogies can inform and enhance student motivation, participation, and active engagement through the design and implementation of a student loyalty program. While developed within the context of accounting education, the student loyalty program provides an evidence-based, transferable framework for fostering effective learning habits and self-directed learning across disciplines. By supporting autonomy, competence, and relatedness in first-year students, the student loyalty program addresses challenges in higher education, laying the foundation for lifelong learning, habit formation, and professional success. Madam Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate. Congratulations.
Madam Vice Principal, I introduce to you Mafanetsa Brutus Makumbi, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy with a thesis titled Social Media Usage Among South African DMOs to Link Brand Identity and Projected Brand Image, prepared under my supervision. In this thesis, the candidate investigated how destination marketing organizations translate brand identity articulated in strategic documents into a projected image across official social media platforms. The mixed method study was built around multiple stages: a systematic quantitative literature review, deductive thematic analysis of strategic documents of South African DMOs, and a quantitative content analysis of the corresponding social media posts. Findings indicated a polarization of studies from a global north perspective and varied levels of misalignment between brand identity and projected brand image on social media between the respective DMOs. The study recognizes the strategic function of DMOs in curating a destination's competitive identity and proposes a novel destination branding social media alignment framework that provides guidelines for optimal utilization of these tools in a resource-scarce context. Madam Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree onto the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate. Congratulations.
Madam Vice Principal, I introduce to you Antoinette Majinga Mashinda, who has complied with the requirements of the degree Doctor of Philosophy with a thesis titled Essays on Climate, Health, and Economics, prepared under my supervision. In the thesis, the candidate investigated the complex relationships between weather-related shocks, health, and economics in Africa. Climate change affects human health through direct and indirect pathways, with subsequent repercussions on cognitive development, educational attainment, employment prospects, and earnings. In addition, the socioeconomic disparities associated with environmental conditions can further aggravate susceptibility to poor health, perpetuating cycles of poverty. The study found that long-term drought negatively affects women's wealth, education, and health, with subsequent repercussions for their children. The thesis revealed that increased rainfall can serve as a remedial investment, potentially improving outcomes for children with low birth weight. It also found that meteorological factors affected the incidence of COVID-19 in the Cape, with nonlinearities and lag dynamics affecting the exposure response curve and differences in association with lockdowns across city regions, separated by their socioeconomic status. Madam Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate. Congratulations.
Madam Vice Principal, I introduce to you Sibonello Percival Mambo, who has complied with the requirement in the degree of Doctor of Philosophy with a thesis titled Essay on Spatial Effect of Public School Infrastructure on Growth and Inequality, prepared under my supervision and with Professor Matthew Clance as co-supervisor. In the thesis, the candidate examined how public school investment have influenced local economic growth and spatial inequality across South Africa municipalities between 1992 and 2013. Using spatial mapping, regression technique, and multi-level linear models, the study investigates how the distribution and type of school have shaped development outcomes. The findings show that while school infrastructure expanded access in previously marginalized areas, its economic effect has not been uniform. Investment in fee-paying schools are linked to higher income growth, while non-fee schools often fall short in delivering similar economic benefits. The analysis highlights how local conditions and policies significantly shape the impact of national infrastructure programs. By offering spatial-level insight that easily add to the understanding of how public and private investment interact and what that means for designing more equitable development policies in South Africa. Madam Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all of its associated rights and privileges on the candidate. Congratulations.
Madam Vice Principal, Madam Vice Principal, I introduce to you Takuma Nyanga, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy with a thesis titled Determinants and Outcomes of Financial Technology Adoption by Small and Medium Enterprises, prepared under the supervision of Professor Chukwa Kadibia Eresia Eke. In this thesis, the candidate investigated factors enabling fintech adoption by small and medium enterprises in South Africa, and the results of such adoption were examined. Furthermore, the role of technology savviness and e-trust in modeling the relationship between adoption of fintech and organizational performance was assessed. Data was collected from SMEs using purposive sampling, and the covariance-based structural equation modeling analytical tool was applied to determine the nexus of different constructs in the study. The result indicated that trialability, compatibility, and perceived ease of use enable fintech adoption, while observability, perceived usefulness, and complexity did not have a significant statistical relationship with fintech adoption. On contrary, relative advantage showed a negative correlation with adoption of fintech. The study concludes that technology savviness moderates the relationship between fintech adoption and organizational performance, contrary to e-trust. Madam Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate. Congratulations.
Madam Vice Principal, I introduce to you Denise Pretorius, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy with a thesis titled Separate versus Integrated Financial and Sustainability Reports, the Effects of Presentation Format on the Cognitive Effort of Investors, prepared under my supervision with Professor Tim Rupert of Northeastern University as co-supervisor. In this thesis, the candidate used a 2x2x2 between subjects eye-tracking experiment to investigate whether three presentation format dimensions, namely placement, labeling, and linkage, reduce the cognitive effort required by non-professional investors in making investment decisions. In general, people prefer to spend as little cognitive effort in terms of time and attention as possible. The time spent can be measured directly in minutes and seconds. How much attention is paid cannot be observed directly, but can be measured using eye-tracking technology. The evidence shows that all three format dimensions of integrated reports, namely presenting financial and sustainability-related information in a single report, labeling information as financially material, and linking the information, contribute to some extent to reducing the cognitive effort investors must expend to make an investment decision. Madam Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate. Congratulations.
Madam Vice Principal, I introduce to you Katutselo Mike Ramakumba, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy, specializing in leadership, with a thesis titled Collective Leadership Practices in Plural Organizations, a social constructionist investigation of South African state enterprises, prepared under my supervision and with Professor Sumari O'Neill as co-supervisor. In this thesis, the candidate investigated the social construction of collective leadership in plural organizations. A three-pronged approach comprising analytical autoethnography, in-depth interviews, and analysis of media reports found that meticulous appointment processes are vital for building trust and legitimacy. Furthermore, a need for effective conflict resolution, consensus building, transparent meeting protocols, and information flow emerge as key collective leadership practices. The outcome of this study was the development of frameworks for continuous improvement of collective leadership through a thorough assessment of collective leadership practices, stakeholder engagement, detailed planning, training, ongoing evaluation, and the adoption of adaptable and practical leadership structures. The study recommends that structured frameworks on people, role, and time, which are the biographical aspects of collective leadership, as well as context in power dynamics influencing the social construction of collective leadership, be adopted to improve collective leadership in plural organizations. The study advances how collective leadership is socially constructed in plural organizations. Madam Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate. Congratulations.
Madam Vice Principal, I introduce you to Obren Muine Samahia, who has complied with the requirements of the Doctor of Philosophy with a thesis titled Education and Labor Market Outcomes, prepared under my supervision, along with that of Prof. Yosef Getachew as co-supervisor. In the thesis, Education and Labor Market Outcomes, the candidate investigated the impact of education on labor market outcomes in South Africa. Specifically, the study examined how changes in years of education affect employment outcomes, labor market earnings, and their distribution. These issues were evaluated using a series of general household surveys and several identification strategies. The findings indicate that education has heterogeneous effects on employment across population groups and gender, with women having a higher probability of employment than men. Well done, ladies. Moreover, returns to education vary across the wage distribution, gender, education level, and exposure to the compulsory schooling law, with evidence suggesting that education may increase wage inequality. In a country with extensive labor market opportunity and wage inequality, the research offers nuanced insight into policy issues of great importance. Madam Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate. Congratulations.
Madam Vice Principal, I introduce to you Ufense Alec Teledi, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy, specializing in leadership, with the title The Integration of Ubuntu into Leadership Practices of Leaders in Multinational Companies, a South African Perspective, prepared under the supervision of Professor Willem Fourie. In this thesis, the candidate explored the intersection of culture and leadership, specifically focusing on how business leaders can integrate Ubuntu into their leadership approach. The findings indicate that Ubuntu is viewed as an African expression of humanness and is acknowledged for its universal relevance. The integration of Ubuntu extends beyond the individual leadership methods and is also reflected within the organizational practices. Ubuntu's integration can occur through strategic alignment with Ubuntu values, establishing organizational values that resonate with Ubuntu, performance management systems that complement Ubuntu, and a commitment to sustainability and related initiatives. Despite the leaders' efforts to incorporate Ubuntu into their leadership styles and organizational practices, leaders faced various challenges that required navigation. This research enriches the understanding of the relationship between culture, specifically Ubuntu, and effective leadership. Madam Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate. Congratulations.
Madam Vice Principal, I introduce to you Teresa van Oort, who has complied with requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy with her thesis titled, The Impact of Assessment Time Limits on Accounting Students' Integration of Technical Accounting Knowledge with Higher Order Thinking Skills. Prepared under my supervision with Prof. Tim Rupert from Northeastern University in Boston as co-supervisor. In her thesis, Teresa van Oort investigated the impact of assessment time limits on students' technical competence in accounting. The study developed and validated an accounting assessment instrument aligned with Bloom's taxonomy. The instrument validation was completed using item response theory and the Delphi method. Using a post-test only between subject experimental design with a sample of undergraduate accounting students, Teresa evaluated performance across 3 time conditions and examined the influence of question sequencing. The findings revealed that strict time limits significantly reduced performance on lower order and higher order thinking tasks. Question order also impacted outcomes, particularly under time pressure. The study highlights a construct irrelevant threat to validity when accuracy under time constraints is unintentionally assessed. The research contributes to accounting education by providing empirical evidence that guide assessment policy and decision-making, ensuring that time constraints and question sequencing do not undermine valid measurement of students' technical competence in accounting. Madam Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate. Congrats.
Madam Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Master of Administration, specializing in public policy. Haley Box, and with distinction. Was it a distinction? No awards. Okay, no awards, my apologies. Haley Box. Thokozani Khumalo. Rachibanda Kone. Hlonani Makamu. Vanessa Mahongela. Mutshwalo Banaso. Litabo Murodi. Madam Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Master of Commerce. Specializing in accounting science, Kiahlekile Ndimande. Seriel Tiane. Specializing in advanced data analytics, Bronwyn McCall. McDonald Pasha. Specializing in auditing, Tamrin Tsisana. Specializing in economics, Khabo Sitlako. Madam Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Master of Commerce in Industrial Psychology. Lachelle de Koenig with distinction. Madam Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Master of Philosophy, Strategizing in Strategic Management, Kulumo Mahasa. Neo Mtetwa. Kiadiretse Sikosapelo. Specializing in tourism management, Rineliwe Mentor. Madam Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Master of Public Administration. Minnie Bates. Litladi Likolwane. Owen Mafumu. Tsepo Makitwa. Koketso Majani. Musa Mukabela. Priscilla Mulombo. Ntabiseng Mukhale. Veronica Muhapelo. Silalo Moyo. Rikombise Mukombo. Tandeka Ngozi. Revonia Mutabatsinti. Nomsa Nyanda. May I have your card? Yes. Chen Liang Kwan. Bonile Rasmeni. Madidimalo Sibake. Tebuko Totela. Muyeketsi Totetsi. Petrus Sotetsi. Sifiso Zita. Madam Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Bachelor of Administration Honors, specializing in public administration, Matsodi Mabaya. Kahiso Molautsi. Madam Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Bachelor of Commerce Honors, specializing in communication management. Miche Zingwa. Boitimelo Moeng. Princess Glovo. Specializing in mathematical statistics, Kristen Kuhn. Madam Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the postgraduate diploma in economic and management sciences, specializing in tourism management, Kwenadi Makwela. Madam Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the postgraduate diploma in entrepreneurship. Masabodi Monyeki with distinction. Jauge Lontini with distinction. Madam Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the postgraduate diploma in public management. Remofilwe Babiotsejan. Aneri Benjamin. Amukelani Bila with distinction. Tobekile Biela. Makutlwano Bless. Nokulunga Blose with distinction. Lusanda Kwawe. Musoli Twele. Peter Tichaba. Sanele Dlomo. Tabisile Dlomo with distinction. Nwabisa Diwili. Jorin Erasmus with distinction. Betty Fakude. Bongani Fielder. Sekhofatso Gaolonjwe. Sitembile Gonyela. Benita Grimet Pangomso. Refilwe Jebetle. Asipili Komeni. Lindiwe Kumalo. Mulatelo Litswalo. Florence Letswane. Wilton Lobisi. Charity Law with distinction. Makapola Make. Tracy Marman. Uitimelo Mabilo. Kumbuzo Mabirimisa. Morwesi Mabosa. Naledi Madonzela. Karabo Mahahane. Ubakeng Mahosi with distinction. Luyanda Makapela with distinction. Sawunyane Maketla. Richard Makubele. Lerato Malebana. Rolani Maluleka. Tifo Malusi. Sekwatane Manamela. Luleka Mapekula. Matahu Maredi. Sifiso Masango with distinction. Jabu Masilela with distinction. Amelia Masheho with distinction. Tebuho Masilo. Aviwe Matomela. Mkhotso Mbuyisa. Nokupumla Mgidi. Busiseni Mkhize. Busiseni Mkhize. Glory Munisi. Martha Modise. Okay. Poletso Mukajane with distinction. Mukadi Mukope. Motibedi Mukwena with distinction. Sitati Mulopo. Kinewe Mulusi with distinction. Fundisiwe Monaheng. Teboho Monene. Nontebeko Mkobane. Mukondeleli Mushahwa with distinction. Dipolelo Moshidi. Tenjiwe Mtembu. Notolo Mutia. Felicity Mutlolo with distinction. Nokutula Mchali with distinction. Temba Mukari. Tindinali Mushanga Pamu with Mulanga Puma with distinction. My apologies. Mulanga Puma. Divweni Musandiwa with distinction. Tseko Musolwa. Fulufelo Ndou with distinction. Amanda Nene. Bavalelo Nechimbufe. Bongumusi Ngobese. Sibonela Nhlangulela. Marama Nkosi. Tembalihle Ngunjana. Mtokozizi Nkwenyane with distinction. Yvonne Ndebele. Gerald Mtwane with distinction. Nokwanda Ncwele with distinction. Pumowake Ngumalo. Kolile Ngumalo with distinction. Lwazikazi Nyama. Pindile Nyawo. Nocolo Pangeni. Pretty Piri with distinction. Komotso Pule. Molohadi Rashlapane. Lekhale Ramaila. Mohadi Ramahaha with distinction. Ki lebogile Ramela with distinction. Kotlelelo Rampedi. Ngwako Sitloboko. Ayanda Shitreka. Tabiso Shiluvane with distinction. Emmanuel Simango. Pindile Sitole. Hilolo Tulane. Morning. Tabo Kladi. Humotso Klapane. Tembisa Vuzane. Nhlanhla Qego. Samachali Zikalala. Madam Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Bachelor of Administration, specializing in public management and international relations. Klolenhle Ntuli. Madam Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Bachelor of Commerce. Georgia Fore. Zinande Kinkwayo. Laverne Kundia. Simpiwe Lukele. Joanne Tracia Mabaso. Itumeleng Marakalala. Sipokazi Mufeka. Zinhle Mngoma. Kamukelo Mohapi. Kelecho Mulefe. Offense Muaka. Pumzile Pakati. Petolo Pilane. Shamishka Reddy. Matladire Tobejane. Specializing in agribusiness management, Lindokuhle Mutembu. Specializing in business management, Byron Anneli. Dr. Chauke. Diane Docrat. Jordan Dugan. Jean-Henry Els. Zante Hatin Erasmus. Ethan Holiday. Lishabane Huetejo. Neo Makofane. Nicholas Mini. Kiarabetswe Mulopanye. Bukiwe Nkabi. Enhle Nja. Pranav Pillay. Refilwe Siabi. Wait, let me. Sekofatso Silo. Meg Stacy. Alice Stokes. Angela Sue. Ndabezinhle Zulu. Specializing in financial management sciences, Spiwe Motao. Fezile Ngumalo. Inga Pretorius. Specializing in human resource management, Princess Malesa. Specializing in information systems, Stefan Esterhazen. Tuso Kaku. Sianda Mazibuko. Apiwe Muslongo. Lungile Ngomezulu. Kwanele Nyandeni. Varaizo Zimondi. Specializing in investment management, Reese Stoltz. Specializing in law, Belandri Els. Renee Bilinganyo, sorry, Bilinganyo. Tsepo Mutimunye. Specializing in marketing management, Michael Adams. Azile Luatra. Specializing in supply chain management, Razim Ahmed. Sinokuhle Kumalo. Ntabiseng Nene. Hope Sadiki.
Thank you. Can I ask that all of our graduates please rise? Can we give them all a big hand of applause? Now, graduates, Graduates, behind you and around you are all the people that supported you to get to this moment. Please turn to your family, your friends, and you give them a hand of support. Then lastly, behind me are the people who taught you, who set up long hours to mark all of your work. So please turn to them and please give them a hand of applause. We've now come to the end of the proceedings, but before we close, I wish to invite everyone here for refreshments afterwards in the marquee in front of the Rembrandt Hall. You are requested to stand for the singing of the national anthem and to remain standing until the assembly has been dissolved and the academic procession has left the auditorium. The words of the national anthem will appear on the screens. Please rise. By the power vested in me, I hereby dissolve this assembly of the University of Pretoria.
Nos Conferring.